Welcome to Masterclass Wrestling with Class. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share. And now, on with the show.
Radical.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Masterclass. I am one of your co-stars and one-third of Delirium, the Master, Emir, along with my co-star and fellow Delirium teammate, ladies and gentlemen, McCallion.
There, but I can't get it. Fucking popcorn.
Welcome, everybody. Hey, McCallion.
No, that's
before we
working.
begin today. Oh, we've got some interference there. Excuse that, everybody. We've got our guest joining us. Marty Jannetty is trying to patch his way in, so forgive the interference there. But McCallion, what do the fans need to do?
They need to go and punish that subscribe button and subscribe to Masters of Wrestling right now so that you don't miss a single one of these podcasts. And we are off, as you heard. I think there was some it sounded like Space Ghost Zorak maybe tapping in. Marty Jannetty, I think, was on the
yeah
there he is.
As long as it's not Zordon from
Power
Rangers. There he is. Marty, can you hear us?
No audio.
Okay, Marty's still having audio issues right there. So, but he'll be joining us. But at the bottom of our screen, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 1/3 of the Orient Express. Ladies and gentlemen, WWE and WCW superstar and ECW, in fact, for that matter, Pat Tanaka.
Hey, guys, good to be here. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yep, absolutely. Marty is still trying to get his audio situated right there. As you can see, he's working hard. Marty, can you hear us? He's making facial grimaces there, but he doesn't know we can hear him this whole time. But nonetheless, before we begin today, everybody, make sure you hit the likes and share this video with your friends and family. And just like McCallion said, subscribe to the Masters of Wrestling right here on YouTube. We got plenty of podcasts, and we're here each and every week for all of you. So before we begin this show, gentlemen, while Marty gets situated here, want to talk about the passing of Sabu. We want to offer.
I can hear y'all. You hear me?
Oh, Marty's here.
We can
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can, but now I can't see you. My girlfriend might be crazy.
Not your girlfriend. You know who I am.
What are you?
Oh, well.
I didn't know you had a girlfriend. I thought you had a wife.
Yes.
Some people keep saying that. She says it a lot.
Yes, I've heard that you
I couldn't
that
imagine
is
why,
your wife, Marty.
That you married her.
Before we begin, I wanted to talk about the passing of
Can y'all
Sabu.
see me?
Yes, we can see you, Marty.
We can
How
see
many
you.
fingers am I holding up?
3,
How many fingers just went up my nose?
1.
Hey,
Marty.
Mayor.
Hey, Addie, how you doing?
All right, let y'all get back to business.
I can see y'all all, and y'all can hear me now.
Yes, we
There
can,
we
Marty.
go.
It's a
We're
pleasure
complete.
to have you on and back with us, Marty.
How you been, man? I missed you. Your forehead got bigger.
Wow, thank you. Thank you for that, Marty. I really appreciate that one. Well, you know what it is? It's because I'm closer to the screen. That's what it is, Marty.
You might want to back up.
This is
I'm
what I
only
put
playing,
up with
man.
McCallion, with this
you
guy.
Look good. You look like you've been working your traps.
Yeah, I have, actually. I've been working very, very hard, actually.
Why ain't you
Very,
working the rest of your body?
I do. I work the rest of my body. This is the only part that you can see. That's
I just,
Well-
you know I'm just playing, man.
Oh, I know. Hey, Marty, this is my business associate here, McCallion, up in the top corner. McCallion, say hello to Marty.
McCallion, what happened, brother?
Oh man, it's all part of the master plan of the master
Oh,
class here.
it's a work. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
If you could
yeah.
take that thing off, you could see my girlfriend completely, and you wouldn't like me no more.
It's probably best I just leave it on. Yeah, leave the gimmick on then.
Just leave it on. But Marty, how have you been before we kick this one off? Because we heard you just did a podcast this afternoon, and it went very well, according to Pat.
He didn't lie.
Yeah, he didn't lie. It went good. Okay, good stuff.
And that might be something new. Mark that down.
Yeah, something new.
Well, Pat never lies, but he stretches the truth beyond belief.
Are
Pat.
you saying that I exaggerate?
You know what? I didn't
champions. They're not born in the gym. It starts from the inside and it works its way out. Do you feel it more difficult to obtain muscle? Are you tired or perhaps depressed? Then there's a solution. Our brand new partner and sponsor, Care Aesthetics of La Quinta, are here to help you get restored to optimal health. Just use the contact information in this video and schedule your free consultation. Be sure to mention the name of the podcast, whether that be Power and Glory, Styling, Masterclass, or Hey Roma, when doing so. We wish you all the best in your road to optimized health. And now, back to the show.
You know what? I didn't even change clothes. I just noticed because you got the same headgear you had on. I didn't change clothes either.
I didn't. I'm sorry.
Let me see if I got some.
Pat is also enjoying his dinner, but I do want to stop for a brief moment, gentlemen, and acknowledge the passing of Sabu. And Pat mentioned to us, rest in peace, God bless, that Pat mentioned that he did actually work with him. So tell us a little about, not Sabu, but his uncle. You worked with his uncle in ECW, right, Pat?
Yeah, he was my partner against Taz and Kevin Sullivan. And I tell you what, talk about just one over person. I tell you what, his uncle was over. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I mean,
Yeah, he was a man.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was
I
easy.
was so surprised.
Was he easy to work with, or was he yeah?
We just went in there and I said, "You do your thing, brother. I'm just hanging right here." And he goes, "All right, man." And he just ran in there, threw the fire on everybody, and that was it, man. It was awesome. The shit was on.
Yeah. Now, McCallion, you would have been here in the States. I never got ECW back in the UK.
Yeah.
Did you ever see some of this action back in the day?
Yeah, because I grew up in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, so I was right there in the midst of it. Yeah.
All right.
Hey, real quick, let me just ask you this.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Did you know the mayor, y'all's mayor, the black lady, she can't spell Eagles?
All right. I'm gonna have to put viewer discretion.
I don't know if I haven't been there for like 16 years now.
Oh, so you're not okay.
So
Where
I don't
you
know
at right now? Where you at?
Yeah. I'm in California now. So
Man, you made a big move.
I did. 3,000 miles of it. Yeah.
What part? LA-ish?
Yeah, I'm in Orange County.
Orange County? Okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna.
Well, how you feeling? Do you want to get rid of that mayor? Is he the mayor or the governor?
Oh, the governor.
Yeah, Gavin Newsom.
Newsom,
Oh boy.
Well,
sure has destroyed this state, but
that's a conversation for another podcast right there.
Yeah, that's its own podcast in itself.
But as you were saying, back to McCallion, about ECW days. So you were a fan of ECW?
Yeah. ECW was fantastic, man. I think it revolutionized that time, period. It was different than what you watched with WWF and WCW. And you got to look at almost everybody that came out of ECW. I think anytime I talk about ECW, their name became legendary. It was weird. You didn't have other promotions besides the major three at that time, but anything that was running, you had guys that were, like lesser on the card or not well known, but it felt like every single person, because I don't know if it was just they were all that talented or that, they were set up for bigger storylines to advance, when nowadays it feels like people don't connect with the audience and there's a disconnection that they just don't, they're just forgotten about, but back then those guys still that pop up, anybody that pops up, whether it's Guido or a Rhino, just, just went to AEW, everyone's always happy to see them,
Yeah.
So.
Now, Marty,
Yes,
did you have the opportunity to go to ECW, or did you just choose not to go to? Because you were in WCW.
No, I went there, and Paulie is I guess I'd call him a friend. I mean, he used to give me ecstasy when I go to the New York bars. And
That's a buddy, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he'd go from that, like he'd walk up, hey, how you doing? I'm like, good, man. Look at these girls. He goes, here, take some of these. I knew what X it was. I ain't new. And I'm like, are you giving it? How much? He goes, no, take them. I'm like, all right. So, I thought him and I were cool because we kind of broke in together in Kansas City when he first started Central States territory.
Mhm.
And he, I liked him. I liked him. Hell, he was new as I was. And he was the first one that, remember them cell phones that were like a brick with
with the big antenna. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what came to my mind when you were telling this story. I wanted to be like, did he have the big phone?
And he made it work, like Jim Cornette amazingly made a fucking tennis racket work.
Yeah, true. And that outfit he had.
Was that before he went to Tennessee, Marty?
Which one?
Jim. Paulie.
Who?
He was in Memphis with us.
Yeah, that was after he was already in Kansas City.
Oh, okay. So he came from there. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And he was so cool when he was. I mean, I don't want to talk bad about him, so I won't say he's a dickhead. But I mean, I loved him to death.
Yeah.
But I watched the changes in the way he acted. That was like Diamond Dallas Page, who I loved to death. But I saw how he gravitated to all the guys on top. Even if he made friends with your guy, like Tanaka's the one that got him in the business. And he just kind of like, okay, they're just right here on the card. I want to go over here. So fuck them. And he started hanging out with the top guys, which, okay, I mean, that's one way of doing it. Sucking a dick's another. But I mean,
don't worry about talking bad about it anyway, Marty.
No,
it's just things you might want to do to get to the top.
I did.
Nothing's hidden anymore. It's all exposed. They do it in Hollywood.
I didn't say Dallas
right
I didn't say he sucked dick. I didn't say he didn't either. But
here we go again.
Here we go again.
No, I love Dallas to death. I love him to death. I was a little disappointed when I found out, that DDP yoga thing where he helped out the guys that were on top, Scott Hall and Jake Snake and a couple of, Jimmy Powers and a couple. I won't mention other names that weren't the big names. I tried to get in touch with him, like, yeah, help me too. I need help. He didn't have time for it. So, I mean, to me, how do you look at that? Am I just trying to make me puff myself up because I helped Scott Hall, I helped Jake the Snake? What am I going to do with Jimmy Powers? That's not going to help me.
I see what you're saying. Are you
there for the real reason, or are you there to puff yourself up?
I see what you're saying there, and it is true. I mean, he has done remarkable things, and it should be across the board. You
never seen him do it with a no name though.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, I just saw him about 4 or 5 months ago. We hugged up. I love him to death. What I do respect about him, besides the fact that he could get with girls, was that he worked hard.
Yeah.
And I had to do that. Everybody always compares me and Sean and who was a better worker and who, yada, yada, yada. I like to think I was a little bit better athletically than him, but I had to work harder too. So, I mean, hard work is always, nothing was gifted to me. Nature didn't say, boom, bless you. In fact, it did the opposite. Like, get through this shit, bitch.
I know that feeling.
But but the fact is, Marty, because I'm always going to be here to boost you up, you have become a legend, right? You are a legend in pro wrestling, and no one can ever take that.
Sometimes not for the right reasons.
Well, if you look at it,
they accused me of fucking my daughter, of killing a guy behind the bowling alley. I mean, there's so many things that you just wish, like, man, why you bring that up?
Yeah.
You can't believe Wikipedia nowadays. That's the thing, like
you can't believe everything you read. But what you brought up there was Pat. I was unaware that you had brought DDP into the business. So tell us about that.
No. I didn't bring him in.
AWA.
What's that?
AWA.
Yeah.
Remember when he would bring the Diamond Dolls?
Right. And he had, I guess, talked to Greg about, because what Diamond had before.
Greg Valentine?
No.
Oh,
I
Greg
think-
Gagne. Okay.
Yeah, Greg Gagne. Sorry about
Okay.
that. And what he had was not pro wrestling stuff. He had that gift of, man, he could lay an interview anywhere.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He had that charisma. He could just talk and you would listen,
And he's actually a smart guy. I mean, do
Oh,
you know he was
he's-
going to trade off a cord to a guy's name I can't say because Scott would beat my ass? No, Steiner.
Oh, yeah.
So I
There
can't
you
say
go
his
again.
name.
What's happening, Pat? Are you gonna put him in line here? You gonna put him in check? What's going on, Pat?
No, Marty, I ain't gonna say his name, but Scott would,
What are you eating, Menudo?
yeah,
Why you eating during the interview? You
I
changed.
don't know.
You know what? He's that relaxed with us, Marty. That's what it is. He's
That's
that
right.
relaxed.
That's a little too relaxed.
Yeah.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan, like when you get a little comfortable with him and like say something that you normally wouldn't say to him because it big burly motherfucker fuck you up. You're like, yeah, well, you ain't shit. You and then you go, you're getting too comfortable with me. And you knew right away, better back the hell up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? At the beginning of the interview, right before we went on the air, Pat was so relaxed, in fact, that his camera was on the table, and all we saw was the light above him. That's it. That's how relaxed he was back then. So at least
We
he's,
thought we were
he's
looking
a
at
little
the
bit.
heavens for a second. It felt like, we were,
Yeah,
light,
it was kind of like I was laying on bed sleeping or something,
Well, how did he explain to him like 4 skulls with scarves hanging underneath him, underneath them, behind him, behind
What?
his right shoulder to our left.
What
Lean
is-
back, Pat? Lean back.
Ted Bundy.
What's behind you right there, Pat?
No, I said I can explain by just saying Ted Bundy was here.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Enough questions asked. You probably both will get arrested after.
Hey, one last question for everybody on the panel. One last question.
Yeah.
Does these glasses make me look like the Dudley Boys?
McCallion.
Yeah,
McCallion, what do you reckon?
just
he looks
like
like Uncle Marty. If they had an Uncle Marty with Bubba, Devon, and Spike and Big Dick, he's Uncle Mark. So.
I think you look sophisticated, Marty.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah,
well, he could be Big Dick.
He he could be that. He looks like he's ready to get the wood. That's the important part. So
yeah. Speaking of the Dudleys, no, you worked with them, right, Pat, in ECW, or was it Public Enemy?
Public Enemy and the Dudleys.
Oh, you did work with the Dudleys.
I worked with
I was gonna say both. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big Dick.
Why you keep bringing up Big Dick?
That's who I worked with out of them. And I just said, not them, the Big Dick. I just called you a Big Dick.
Oh. Okay.
And if fuck with me, I can get bigger.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, this is a contest. Obviously, we see that it's beginning here, but I do want to.
Amir,
Yeah.
turn that way again. It'll be your right. Look to your right.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a big ass ear.
What?
That ear, turn to the right again.
What?
Fuck. Is that real?
Marty, you know what? This is a regular size ear, Marty.
he doesn't work
No,
ear day, okay? He doesn't hit ears at the gym.
Yeah,
Mayor,
Take
you
off
out,
his glasses. They're magnifying.
yeah, it's
You're-
because. Okay. What was that, Marty?
you're out there in LA.
Well, no, I'm near Palm Springs, Marty.
Where's that near?
It's about 120 miles from LA.
Damn, you got a car?
Yeah, of course I got a car.
So you
Thank
can
God.
get to you every once in a while you can get to LA.
Yeah, but I choose not to. I'm not a fan of LA, Marty. Why? I know you're going to go somewhere with this.
No,
What is
you
it?
don't.
What is it, Marty? Come on.
It's a lot of girls there. Some of them shouldn't be there. Every
Marty.
girl that has titties, excuse my language, y'all, especially the girls with titties.
Oh, yeah, that's the bad language you use.
Yes, that's the bad language that
But
Marty used.
they always feel like
Come on, that's the cleanest thing you said today.
Yep.
Okay. Well,
That's it.
I'll
He's
make
gonna
sure
stay-
I'll do it again.
Yeah, he's going to stay clean now. Let's go back to a subject because we want to talk about for the wrestling fans here. So, or
You don't mind if I take these glasses off?
oh yeah, go ahead, Marty. Go ahead. You know, Marty,
just-
I'm starting to think you should honestly start booking yourself and doing a one-man show. Just go to the comedy clubs. Honestly, I'm being serious. You should.
There's one in here in
Italian.
Columbus, but it's not funny.
No, because you're not there. McCallion, what do you think? You reckon he should go?
No,
and do some-
I think he's ready. He's
Yeah.
with the glasses or without. You know what I mean? Like,
All
yeah,
right,
it's gonna
y'all
be a hit.
gassing me up. Y'all gassing me up.
Yeah, that's what you need to do, Marty, because that's it. I mean, you could do like who does that? Mick Foley does it, right?
Everybody was doing it for a while. And Brutus Beefcake, remember Brutus Bar Beefcake?
Yeah.
He called me up and said, "Look, man, I can get you $1,000 to go do this comedy show." I said, "Well, do what? Because are we going to wrestle at a comedy show?" He goes, "Oh, no, you get up there and tell jokes."
Yeah.
What joke I'm gonna tell that in front of people? I don't know. I don't. My mask might be a joke, but I don't fucking know how to tell jokes. Oh no, you just tell road stories. They're gonna love you.
Yeah, they would.
But I was scared of that. I mean, if I'm gonna do a job, I want to do it well.
Mhm.
I'm not confident about me going on the stage and telling jokes. Hey, y'all remember the first time Pat had a dick in his mouth and realized it? You know, I'm not.
It has to be Pat with a dick in his mouth. Can't you ever say anything else?
Was he
my
he
God.
referring to you or was he referring to another Pat?
He was referring to
Yeah,
the
you
other guy.
raised right up. You got right. Thank you, Amir. He
Yeah.
raised right up on that, didn't he?
Yeah,
That would be that guiltiness.
yeah.
Marty.
There was one time Pat we were in WWE at the time WWF, and his partner didn't show up. Paul Diamond.
Mhm.
It was kind of crazy because I love them both. Pat's my best friend. And I liked Paul, and it was hard sometimes to like him. But Pat will tell you, if there were times it was just like, why? Why do I like this guy? and this particular time, it was in Miami. You might remember, Pat. It was because they were drug testers, mainly for cocaine.
Mhm.
Marijuana wasn't so bad because the clique, Sean and Kevin Nash and all them were like, well, what we do on our weekends, if we smoke weed on our weekend, that's our time. And so when we come back Monday to work, Tuesday to work, it's still in our system. We're going to get in trouble for what and so Vince backed off the marijuana, okay, you can have that, but the rest of shit, any kind of, and I don't even think they were checking steroids yet. You can't dip a stick for steroids. You got to send that to a lab.
Mhm.
But it was for cocaine because the guys that most of them, I might have been one of them, was doing cocaine. And, they were testing mainly for that. And Paul Diamond came in. It was Miami Arena. And Paul comes walking in like, do what?
What was that, Pat?
This story is unreal.
Yeah, I mean, he come walking in. Pat's been there. On TV taping days, you had to be there at 1 o'clock because you had interviews all day. All kinds of newspaper shit, towns you're going to be in, all kinds of promo shit, and then get together and get a match. But they Pat was there on time. I don't know how, but he was there on time. And Paul was missing, and Paul and I and Pat, we had a match coming up, and she wasn't there, so you couldn't get together and say, "Hey, what if we did this, did that, did this?" You couldn't, put none together. So later it got, the less we could plan, and then finally he shows up, and he comes walking in the arena. Him and I are friends. He sees me. He was walking right to me, and he's doing this. Hey Marty, and we were having a drug test.
Yeah,
I don't want to say the Hebners get them in trouble, but the Hebners, the referees, the twins, the Hebners had told. I'm not saying her name though.
Of course not.
They had said they would always tell us when a drug test was coming,
Right.
so that you could stop. because cocaine stays 72 hours.
Yeah.
So you could stop. They would let you know, hey, we got a drug test in Miami. Evidently, Paul either didn't care or didn't hear it or whatever. And he comes in hours late.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost
5
a tape.
o'clock.
What time?
Yeah.
5 o'clock.
5?
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're supposed to
boy.
be there at 1.
Yeah.
And he comes in, he sees me, and he comes right to me. He goes, Marty, Marty, and he's got white,
Oh, my
slobby
gosh.
shit around. And if y'all know people who do cocaine,
No.
they got that shit going on. He was doing all that, and he's sweating, and his eyes were bigger than shit. And I was like, oh, fuck, Paul, we're gonna have a test. He goes,
where have you been? He goes, I got lost. He lives in Tampa. He lives in Florida.
and he go. I told him, we got a test, brother. We got a test. He goes, don't worry, and he pulls out of his pocket, and he's wearing the ugliest Bermuda shorts, like checkerboard shorts, though shorts. Yeah. He's wearing, and he pulls out. We did used to do this. When you were clean, you'd pee in a bottle of a little shampoo bottle, the hotel ones that are small. You'd piss in that, and then when you had to go to you dump that in. It was when you were clean. Later, they started testing it, see if it's warm and all that shit.
Yeah.
But at this point, it was so relaxed, whatever he said. And then he tells me, I got this. I'm okay, and I'm like, stop licking your face. Stop doing all the goddamn shit. and at the time, they had got real doctors. Now, the agents were in charge. That's why the Hebners, which I won't say their name again, they would tell us, like tests. They were cool like that.
Yeah.
And so you stop or be a dumbass.
Yeah.
But Earl Hebner, the younger, they were twins, so I guess same age. The one that looked younger came over to me and he goes, Paul don't look good. I said, no, he's probably not good.
Probably not.
And he goes, I don't know what to do. I mean, I'm not going to look. I'll let him pee in a bottle. And I told him, I said, yeah, I think he's got a bottle, so he should be all right. Paul goes in, and they did in the dressing room. You go to the little shower bathroom area to pee in a cup, to give you a cup.
Yeah.
And you dump stuff in. And Paul's, I was 10 feet away because I'm trying to take care of him, and help walk him so he don't stumble or some shit.
Yeah.
He's sitting there back to everybody, including agents. But for some reason, they had a real doctor there that day, but it wasn't doing shit. He was just there. So WWE basically, so they could claim we have real doctors, not just our own people checking.
Got it.
And so this doctor sitting there, a white coat dude and all that shit. Paul's falling around, pissed. He had put that shampoo bottle inside of his Bermuda ugly ass shorts he had on.
Yeah.
No underwear. It fell right through on the floor and it rolled.
Yeah.
The bottle hit and it rolled and it rolled and it rolled and it rolled right into that one doctor and hit him on the foot. He just looked down.
Yeah.
That was it.
Best stitch, man. Of all the people that would roll into it, rolls into him. Darn. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, not me, not agents, fucking doctor.
Darn. That's
and
crazy.
He had no underwear on. Why would you put the damn bottle inside your pants? What's going to hold it, bro?
Yeah. He probably forgot. He was so friggin' high. We lost Pat, but he's going to come back on. I think his phone died, so I'm sure he's plugged it back in. But Marty, I wanted to ask you one thing because I don't think we've ever covered that. So you mentioned the click. So when Sean went over and started hanging with Kevin Nash and Triple H and all of that, Were you still talking to him at that time in the 93, 94, 96 run in WWF? Were you still friends at that point, or would you
It started around 93.
separating?
And, yeah, and Sean and I were so close at one time. We were like brothers, legit brothers. We were so close. But as he started, everybody's praising him. He's climbing the ladder, and I think he was climbing something else. But I don't know. I never saw it. Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson, Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah,
they used to give us a hard time because of that Rock and Roll Express, and we're the Midnight Rockers. Like, where'd y'all get that name? Where'd y'all get the characters? Because our outfits were almost the same with the fringes and all that shit.
Yep.
But I mean, that wasn't our choice. We in AWA. Vern Gagne said we want some kind of rock and roll gimmick. Think of a name, yada yada yada. It took us a while. We couldn't come up with it. And then Kurt Hennig, it's okay to say his name now. Kurt Hennig thought Midnight Rockers because they don't start partying until midnight. That's where it came from. And the tassels and all that shit, that was just in at the time because it's flashy. You got shit moving, it's not the 1920s and all you got your nutsack and dick showing with Speedos on.
Right.
And so the Rock and Roll Express, though, there was at the time, you remember, there was Rock and Roll Express and the Midnight Express. Yeah. So we became Midnight Rockers. So they were like, you stole both of our names.
Darn. Smart, though. Smart. You combine the two best teams.
Just the best of both the names.
Yeah. You know what? Arn Anderson, who I love to death and is very knowledgeable, very wise, and was high up in the business as an agent and all that. He had came to me one time because I remember Sting used to run in the corner and jump up and do that splash thing, Stinger or whatever.
Yeah, Stinger splash.
I thought it was cool shit. I'm new in the business. We were working against Tully and Arn, the Brainbusters. And I shot Arn in or Tully in, and I come running and I jumped. And evidently I didn't get very high. Evidently I just skidded my toes across.
Yeah.
But after the match, Arn came up. He goes, "Hey, Jannetty,
champions.
If you're going to do somebody else's move, at least
starts
do
from the
it
inside.
better than they do it.
It works its way out. Do you feel it more difficult to obtain muscle?
Man.
You're tired.
Well, you live, you try, right? You tried.
There's a solution.
Yeah, but what I was
Our brand new partner and sponsor, Care Aesthetics of La Quinta, are here to help you get restored to optimal
nothing
health.
Against them either.
Just use the contact information in this video and schedule your patchback consultation.
We did.
Be sure to mention the name of the podcast, whether that be
his phone died, Marty.
Glory,
he's back with us.
Styling, Masterclass, or Hey Roma when doing so. We wish you all the best in your road
and you're
to
still
optimized health.
That's what I said. He's still eating that same meal.
It's a big meal.
It's a big plate.
Hey, when we lived in Tennessee, we was wrestling in Tennessee for the Jarretts, and I loved them to death, but we wasn't making no damn money. In fact, that's where I met y'all. Where we met y'all first, because Memphis we had TV taping, and we had a match with y'all. And it was fucking unbelievable. But then we had to go back to Nashville, and you sat there and you were lucky if you got $50 a show, 40s and 30s.
Yeah.
Some of the guys that weren't upper card, we got nothing.
Yeah. And this was TV. You were shooting for TV.
They fed them.
Yeah.
No, they fed them. They would buy pizza for them.
They would buy pizza. That was it.
That's still a thing.
Yeah. I think.
I heard that it is.
Yeah.
You know what? Well, way too well.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish that the promoter would buy us pizza.
Well, you know what's crazy is like we learned that's your payoff, and so it's like I'm not even hungry, but grab a bunch of pieces
just to feel like you earned something, right?
Earn those calories.
Yeah.
But you know what we did when we lived there, though? We got a system. A couple guys ride together, like me and Sean ride together, Sean and Paul ride together. nasty boys ride together. You know, you get your friend and you ride together.
Yeah.
We had found out this Chinese restaurant down the street was $4.99 all you could eat. That was it. That was what we ate. We went there and ate and ate and ate until you almost there's no more room in your mouth.
Yeah.
And then take a few things, and if nobody's looking, stuff them in your pocket.
Wow.
And because you wasn't going to eat again till the next day for that $4.99. So then you would have like a $20 gas bill to get to Nashville, to Louisville, Kentucky, Evansville, Indiana, wherever the places we would go. It was hurting, bro. We were coming out of our own money.
Yeah.
And that's why some of the guys were selling drugs, because it wasn't making enough to make it in meet. Stone Cold talked about that on one thing. But
but when you guys did make it, because I want to go to that WrestleMania 6 Orient Express against the Rockers in Skydome.
Boy.
So yeah, that must have been a big one for both of you there, because you knew each other. But at that point, because I've heard stories and rumors that even then guys weren't earning that much money. Were you guys, I mean, you don't have to say any numbers, but were you guys doing okay by WrestleMania 6 when you were working?
Well, I mean, I can't speak for Pat, but I thought okay, you got to remember, we coming from $50 a week, or not a week, a night.
Yeah.
To 6,000 for that particular WrestleMania. Got 6,000.
6,000.
The best story for me.
You're lying.
He's lying.
A lot more than that, Marty. Shut up.
They paid you different. I'm sorry, brother.
No, I know better.
Well, that's what I got. I don't know what y'all got.
Right.
He's just
that's
being
not
modest.
proud. I mean, the money that was
zeros on the end of that.
They were 63,000 people at the Sky Dome in Toronto. It was the first sellout they'd ever had, to where no more people that could squeeze in. It was the biggest audience at that time. It might still be the record, but it was 63,000 plus people.
Yeah.
And if you can't pay us a little bit off that,
that's worldwide audience to boot. McCallion, did you watch that? I mean, was that one of your, did you like that pay-per-view, WrestleMania 6?
Yeah, and especially with the attendance, like you said, the attendance record, that was a huge moment, for the business, I felt.
Yeah, oh, definitely, sure. Warrior and Hogan. But then coming along a year late, not even a year later, the Rockers and the Orient Express, you guys opened the Royal Rumble in Florida. You opened that, and I've read online that's actually gone down as one of the best Royal Rumble matches of all time.
It was actually Orlando.
Orlando.
That's where I was living at the time, and Pat would always come destroy my house.
Oh.
But that one, Sean and I got upset because at the time we were pretty good. Vince would come to us after. He didn't go to all the shows. He went to the main shows, all pay-per-views, all TV shows. And once in a while, if it was near Connecticut, he would make the drive over, immediately around within 100 miles. He'd go to the shows.
Yeah.
So he saw us a lot, and he was always impressed with Sean and I don't want to say nothing I shouldn't say.
No, you shouldn't say it, Marty. You're already going to get arrested 3 times based on what you just said in this podcast. So, I mean, if you want to just one more, I suppose, won't hurt. I mean, at this point,
it's already a done deal. Yeah. Regardless, at this point,
doesn't matter at this point.
Okay, well, they can try. but that particular, and I gotta swing back. It's a fun story. Go back to WrestleMania 6, but this was Royal Rumble, but it was 91. I know that. But I was living there. It was a short drive for me. You only had to go right up the street.
Yeah.
Sean and I got upset because we had been doing so good. That's why I was saying about Vince always came to us like, "You guys, great work, great." That's all we ever heard out of Vince. Stole the show tonight. I was thinking you would, and you did. That's all we ever got out of him. So the Royal Rumble with Patton, and that's when Kato, which was actually Paul Diamond, because Sato, the real Japanese dude, went back to Japan for a while for whatever reasons. Pat probably knows. And but so they put American boy under a mask, called him Kato, but it worked Express. So we were upset. Me and Sean were, when we saw the lineup at the building. We were first match with Orient Express. And we thought, God damn, man, we've been working so good. We get praised all the time. And we're fucking first match curtain jerkers at a pay-per-view. And Roddy Piper heard me and him talking. He came over and he goes, no, guys, you got it wrong. You got it wrong. He goes, it is such a compliment to be the first match on something this big. And we're like, what do you mean? He goes, what's a pay-per-view? They needed to open it with a bang so that everybody's into it for the rest of the match. You're getting complimented by being the first match. I never thought of it, but I paid attention to it afterwards, and he was right. Roddy was psychologically one of the best.
Yeah.
I heard that. I heard that as well too. You set the pace for the card, and I like going forward years after you guys. You would often see Jeff Hardy or Rob Van Dam be opening on Raw, opening on pay-per-views, just because you knew that those two were going to perform. They were going to give it their all and kill their bodies.
And if you look at it, like, imagine you take two of the guys that when you throw that match together, it's going to be like. And you open a big show like that with that, where's it go? I mean, that second match, third match, they got to work their nutsack off to get it back, get the people back up. Yeah. So, but I never thought about that, Sean, either. We never thought about that. When Roddy told us that, we're like, okay, complimentary,
Yeah.
But now jumping back to WrestleMania 6, which we were opening match again.
You were opening in that? Because on the VHS,
I'm not sure that. I think we were.
No, because on the VHS, unless they re-edited it, I think it was Coco Beware against Rick Martel in the VHS, the way they had it. That's right, McCallion, right? It's Coco and Martel.
I think they were. Yeah, I think it had them open, and it seemed like back then. I don't think they moved out of place too often.
Okay,
because that aired live initially.
Okay, so I think I didn't see it live at the time. I was too young, but I remember from the tape, you guys were further towards the Warrior Hogan match, from what I remember.
Towards the middle and upper. Okay.
Yeah.
But the night before, we were that was in Toronto.
Yeah.
And now I got so many, and I'm not going to say Winnie's name or any of my other girls up there.
Oh, my God. Jesus Christ.
Oh my gosh, Pat, what did you start here today? Pat, come on.
I can't help it, but he always gets me in trouble, right? I mean, he'll open his
this
mouth
was supposed to be a civilized,
Yes.
meeting, talking about tag teams and history, and
and he can still get me in trouble.
Yeah.
How is that?
Well, you know what? We just did a great episode of Dark Side of the Ring here. I mean, the podcast.
We should see if they want to buy it off you.
Yeah.
Hey, but so check this out. So it's the night before WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And we're in town, so I'm not the only one. A lot of the boys will go out and party a little bit. Not hard, because we got a big ass show.
Here it goes again. You're gonna mention names. I won't mention his name.
And there was this place called Seventh Heaven. I'm not going to say the name of nothing. There was this club there, and oh my God! But went out there and ended up hooking up, and went back to her house.
You're not going to say her name, are you?
Yeah, I wouldn't say her name if I were you.
Actually, I don't remember it.
He doesn't remember this. It's fair.
Yeah.
Usually, if I say a name that I'm not going to say, I know them well. But this night I didn't. But she was very beautiful, very sweetheart. Went back to her place, who knows, 3, 4, or 5 in the morning. You got the biggest show. It was only my second WrestleMania at that time.
Right.
We did 5. This was 6. My second one. That's pretty big, and got a little hammered. But I thought I had it all under control because I was able to leave with a good looking girl and go back to her house. And I woke up the next morning. I'm the only one in the house, the apartment. I don't even remember. I think it was a house, but there's nobody there. I'm looking around, and nobody's there. And I'm like, hey, because I'm scared to death because I don't know. I don't remember everything from the night before.
Right.
Hey,
Yeah.
nobody's answering. Like, gosh, damn. And I went out to the front room, and there was a note on the table because evidently she knew I had it WrestleMania next day.
Yeah.
She goes, hey, I had to go to work. I couldn't wait around. You were snoring. You were sleeping. I didn't want to wake you up. I've gone to work. And that was it. Love you. Hope to see you again.
Yeah.
I'm in her house, but now I got to get to WrestleMania, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know what.
I thought you were calling me, so
Here.
please and thank you.
But I didn't. How did you think I called you? I said
You
a
said,
girl
"Hey,
from Toronto.
hey,
He's in
Yeah.
trouble everywhere. That's it, guys.
I thought you forgot my
She
name.
was outside the door listening.
No, that was
Okay.
But so the first thing I thought was I got to get a taxi because nobody's there. I got to get a ride
Right.
to go get my bag and then get to the Sky Dome, and I didn't know where I was at to call a taxi. I actually went outside the house and walked because you couldn't see a corner nearby, but to look for a street sign so I would know how to tell taxi the address.
The day of WrestleMania, man.
Yeah. Biggest day of your fucking life. What are you doing? I'm lost. And I ended up getting a taxi. I saw the thing, and the address was right on the house. Yeah. So I got that, told them, waited. Well, thank you so much, sweetie. Tell them I don't abuse you.
He hasn't today.
Haven't today.
It can be mean sometimes, but I put him back in place.
Yeah, that's right.
She does whoop up on me. She's part Polynesian, part Samoan.
Yeah, so she's got some power.
Yeah,
she don't Haku and them do. But yeah, I mean, it was crazy though because the taxi ran out of gas.
Oh man.
Okay, so it's already crazy, right? I'm getting a damn taxi back to my hotel to get my bag, and then get over to the Sky Dome, which Sean,
we stayed in the Sky Dome.
What's that?
We stayed in the Sky Dome.
Shit. Say again?
We stayed there.
At the Sky Dome?
At the Sky Dome. Yeah.
No, we didn't. Me and Sean stayed by the airport. Y'all might have stayed there with your high class ass.
Yeah, whatever.
No, because that shit was expensive down there.
Oh, it's expensive?
Yeah, my high class ass brought you the best present the next WrestleMania, didn't I?
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah, man, no doubt. But so now the taxi guy runs out of gas, and I'm thinking, what do I do? Do I cuss him out? I said, get some gas now. I mean, what's that going to do? I got the hell out of the damn car and thought, I didn't know where. I don't know Toronto that well.
Right.
But we was heading toward the airport because I saw airport signs. So I knew the hotel was, what was that hotel we always stayed? Right there by the Toronto airport. Whatever it was.
The Toronto Inn.
The Toronto Inn.
Okay. Yeah, you can go ahead and say that. I don't know if that's true or not. So I'm heading that way. I'm heading over to this place, and I'm walking and it's taking forever. And the thing is saying, the signs are saying 3 miles up, exit this, Shiloh. I forgot the name of it. And I'm sweating to death and I'm dying and I'm hungover. I drank a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God damn, man, fuck the hitchhike. I threw my thumb out. Yeah, you know,
Oh my God.
well, yeah, I needed. I don't want to miss. Why
Right.
didn't you make WrestleMania 6?
Yeah. Man.
So some people stopped to get me,
Yeah.
and they were wrestling fans.
Oh man.
Yeah,
That's
and
crazy.
they were telling me like, "What are you doing, Marty Jannetty?" Oh yeah, and I was happy about that, but I'm
Yeah.
like, I gotta get into the skies. Oh, we're going right that way, and I'm thinking, I got to get my bag. I got to get my clothes, my gear.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking at the time, and like, all right, let's go, get your ass there.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking I'm gonna get there. Sean will be there or not. And when I finally did get there, Sean was there. He comes running up. He's got my bag. He took my bag with him when he left.
Wow.
He goes, and he cuts me out like he likes to do.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Where the fuck are you? Goddamn, man, you go fuck up, yada yada yada. But he brought the bag and I got the shit, and we had to match with Pat and him.
Yeah.
But that was the lead into it.
Wow. The match that almost never happened. And that was that was a good one at WrestleMania 6, man. I'm surprised. Yeah, Marty, you must have like some superhuman freaking gene in you or something. I don't know how the heck you were able to pull that off. McCallie, can you imagine that? Like
that's that's why I'm sure knowing our third Richie, I'm sure that you gave Sean a real cuss fest for that one, him towards you.
Yeah.
But it was so lucky because he'd been around me for by that time 5 years. He'd already seen some shit.
He knew. He knew. That's why he had your gear bag.
Yeah, he knew. He was prepared.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But gentlemen, we have been going for quite a while. I want to do a part 2 here with you, Pat and Marty. I want to do another episode with you here so we can cut it up for the viewers here because, I want to keep it fairly short for them. And I know, McCallie, you got some affairs to tend to.
Hey, and we can let Pat have a different meal next time, too. That way, Pat's new gimmick will just always be eating different food.
Right on.
There you go.
I'll do your podcast every night then.
There you go. Absolutely. Every night. You've got your product placement there, your Coca-Cola right there, your diet.
Yeah, it's just Oak, though. We only saw Oak the whole time. Okay. I don't know if we're getting sponsored off this one.
Hey, this is the closest I can come to cocaine. Diet Coke.
Yeah, that's why he didn't have it fully spelled out.
Hey, we're definitely going to make history with this one. I can just say that. So, for sure.
Hey, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, your shoulders looking good, too.
Thank you, man. I've been training. In fact, McCallie had me, McCallie and I work together. So I was talking to him about some variation of exercises for the traps to bring them up more because McCallie has very well developed traps.
Well, your delts looking good, too.
Yeah, they're coming up now.
I'm not gay. I'm never going to put your dick in my mouth for that part.
I'm glad.
I'll compliment you.
I'm glad
that's never going to happen.
I'm glad. So thank you very much.
I keep complimenting you. You need to let me know, like, Marty, you need to stop because I'm getting a hard on.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. This is what I deal with, McCallie. And, now you've had a taste of the Marty Jannetty.
So there will be a part 2. Sorry to tell you guys, it's been canceled.
Hey, McCallie, you're pretty cool, man. I miss you already.
Hey, thanks, bro. I'll be here again.
Yeah,
that means he's gonna fire you.
So where you living now? So when I'm in that area, I'll call you up and we'll cut
Huntington
up.
Beach, man. I'm right here in Huntington Beach. I'm living the beach life. It's beautiful. I've been here for about almost 10 years now.
Are you married?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't hook you up. Okay.
And Marty, it's okay.
What is she? I'm more than sure she's beautiful.
Yeah.
She's got beautiful friends.
You need some help too? Okay, then I can hook you up, even though the wife has popped in the room a couple times.
He's gonna get it too, But hey, by the by, it's been an absolute blast. I'm so glad that Pat, that you had Marty come on with us, and of course, Marty, you're going to be joining us back here. You're going to be joining us with Paul Roma on Power and Glory. Pat, you're going to be joining us.
Hey, real quick. Real quick, I can pretty much almost promise, but I don't like to give a promise I don't know for sure.
Okay.
But I can almost promise Paul is not gay.
Of course not. Yeah. I mean, there's not a chance in hell. All right. So no.
Oh no, I saw some things.
Oh man. Don't tell Paul that when he gets on the air.
Yeah, me and him, we were boys, man. You know, at one time there was a contest going on, because so many guys. Now I was single, so you can't get on to me. Even when I had that Raylene girl, I'm not gonna say her name, but when I had that girl that I was seeing, what? But I never messed around when I was married, and I don't care what guys do, but that to me that's something special.
Yeah.
You know, I know I'm
How can you do that with a straight face?
Well, well, it
no,
is.
you actually know it, Pat.
But you were married 4 days.
And I didn't mess around during it.
You were on your honeymoon for 4 days.
Oh my God.
3, the 4th day back to reality. That's why I called her fucking around.
Darn. Well, you know what? That's another topic for another podcast.
That's a send-off, that's for sure. So.
That's the send-off.
Hey guys, it was a pleasure.
Absolute pleasure, Pat. Absolute pleasure.
Guys,
Hey, Mir,
Yeah.
do you got a whole shirt? You want me to send you one?
I do have a whole shirt, but it's so friggin' hot here, Marty. This is why I have to wear the tank top, right? I've even got a fan pointed at me
That's
right now.
actually the sun on him right now. It's not the lighting, it's the sun. He
That's
has
the
sun.
sun.
He's
That's
tanning.
That's the California. That's actually my sunbed, actually. It's like blaring.
That curtain behind me says, "Nah, you in the house. Put an air conditioner on, bro."
It is. It's on. On top of that, I'm freaking hot. I'm burning up right now. It's so hot out here. I'm always hot.
You're pissing off the air conditioner.
Yeah.
Well, that's what growth hormone does. It makes you hot.
Something.
And now we can run the ad for the growth hormone company, and then
exactly. All the other supplement company ads, they're coming up right now.
Yeah.
All right, so.
Hey, let's all four get together one day somewhere, maybe in the middle of the country, because everybody lives all over. Pat lives in, excuse my language, but fucking Fargo. And the problem with Fargo is like you might catch a month, maybe 2, that there's no snow on the ground.
Yeah. For real, Pat? That's where you are, Fargo?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Hey, bro, it's like for 3 weeks here, it was like 60 below.
Wow.
But I got to ask, for what? 3 weeks?
Yeah.
60
3
below.
weeks? January.
60 below?
And this begs me to.
That's crazy, McCallie.
That's crazy.
and it begs me to ask you why.
Yeah.
Well, it begs me to ask you, why did you let me?
I didn't think
Hey, that's a fair question.
Yeah. Why'd you let him?
I mean, I'll take the blame. I'll tell you what I thought it was. I thought he had found a girl there that had a girl, so we were both set. And then, as it turned out, it wasn't a girl.
Oh.
So then you just let him stay, huh? There was nothing in it for you.
You just left him up there? That's it?
Wait a minute.
You abandoned him?
He said, when you find 2 or maybe 3, let me know. I'll pull you out.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to see how honest Tanaka will be. I mean, he's always honest with me.
Yeah.
Except for one thing. And that is, y'all ask him, so because you've not lied to them, not that I've heard yet. So y'all ask him. One of y'all or both of y'all ask him. Ask him, has he ever fucked a billy goat?
Oh my gosh. You know what? That's
Why
it.
would
That's
you
the
even
send
ask
off right
something like
there.
that?
That's it, McCallion.
We don't do farm animals on the show,
Yeah.
Marty. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
we don't
Marty-
do them. We don't speak of them.
Yeah.
Well, that just turns on Marty when he says that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Marty, you have been a stellar performer right here tonight. It's been a pleasure hosting you. It's been a pleasure hosting you, Pat. It's been an absolute pleasure tonight. And for all of you viewers out there, thank you for taking the time.
Alan, too. You didn't say nothing.
What was that?
McCallion wore that damn ear thing right over his eye the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, it could be an ear patch too, but I have both of those. So
Yes.
No.
But hey, you know
normally
what?
sized too, wouldn't you say? Normally sized.
Normally
Yes.
sized.
Normally sized, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, it's just the camera. That's all it is. But until next time, everybody, make sure you subscribe, like, and share. We will see you next time with part 2 with these two gentlemen right here on Masterclass. Take care, everybody. God bless.
Love y'all.
Thank you, guys.